Hallo Leute, wie geht's? Also, heute ist jetzt Dienstag, ja, und wir werden unser Vokabeltest besprechen und auch, also wir werden auch was lesen, ja. Also heute wäre eigentlich ein Lesetag, aber das ist im Moment ein bisschen schwierig, ja. So today would have been a reading day, but that's obviously a little difficult. But so what I'll do is I'll read through a section with you that we would have read together in class. You guys would have probably read it in groups, and then I'll kind of answer the questions as if I were a student, sort of, if that makes sense. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks to everyone who came to the Zoom session today. So I'm recording this on Monday, and then but it's for Tuesday. So yeah, thanks to everyone that came to the Zoom session. It went really well. I think it was really helpful for me as well as you guys, right? So it's a lot easier to teach when I have kind of a back and forth going on. So I recommend you guys go to that. Also, I recommend that you guys look at the Stammtisch and Kaffeeklatsch Ersatz, the replacement for that, and then just kind of sign up so that you guys have a chance to speak German, ask questions, and yeah, just kind of engage with each other. A lot of these groups, they'll be, when we put them together, it'll be people from the same class. So you won't necessarily have me as like your group leader, but you will, you'll have another great, wonderful German teacher, and you guys will get to speak with each other. So definitely do that. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure that's everything. I'll kind of describe, or I guess right away, I'll just go ahead and describe what the vocab test is going to look like. So the vocab test is due tomorrow, but you have all day to do it. So it's due at 11:59 tomorrow p.m. So as long as you get it in before midnight, you're fine. If you go to assignments, so I'll go to student view, and then if you go to assignments, it'll just be there like normal. But what you'll see here is I've edited it so that the due date's different, and also here you'll write. So what you'll do is you'll write 15 sentences, each with a different vocabulary word. That's a typo there, with a different vocabulary words, each with a different vocabulary word. And in this one, what I want you guys to do is I want you to use at least 4 different modal verbs. So können, wollen, sollen, ja, und so weiter. And then 5 different separable prefix verbs. And then the other 6 are up to you. So yeah, like I'm not grading the grammar of the sentences as much as I'm grading the like that you know how to use the word, right? That it's in the right context, right? So if the word is morning and you say I wake up in the morning, that's great. That works. Even if the conjugation is wrong, if you have the wrong conjugation for wake up, then it's okay. But if you say I buy the morning, right, then even if your conjugation and everything is correct, that's still incorrect, right? Because you have the wrong definition of the word, basically. So 15 sentences, just using the different words correctly, and that's pretty much it. Now we can just go ahead and move on to, I think that's pretty much it for announcements. Yeah. So das war alles. I'll kind of, so your homework, that's going to be a discussion board post again, and that should show up in assignments now. So if you look in assignments, you'll see, here. So this one's due at midnight on Wednesday, right? But if you look at this, you see, wie kommt man zu Campus? Just go ahead, write a response here answering some of these questions. It just has to be 30 words, so not very long at all. And then I want you to respond to one of your classmates' posts. Yeah. So and we'll see kind of what that looks like here pretty soon, because it's basically the same activity that I'm going to do right now. So that should hopefully make it a little bit easier. So like I said, it's a reading activity. So if wenn ihr auf Seite 138, ja, auf Seite 138 guckt, ja, so wir sind auf Seite 138, so wenn ihr auf Seite 138 guckt, dann haben wir ein paar Interviews, ja, so Interviews, das ist auf Deutsch, Interview heißt Interview, ja, so sie haben das Wort gestohlen. They stole that word from us. But yeah, so it's just an interview, and it's about pendeln. Pendeln means to commute, right? So it's about just kind of like student commutes, because we're talking about student life in Germany and kind of comparing and contrasting it to student life here. So yeah, they're talking about students that commute to school. Now, what this looks like is if you look in your book auf Seite 139, right? We've got a bunch of different activities that we're going to do. So rather than me going through each single person here, I'm going to just go ahead and do one. I'm just going to do Dominic's profile here, kind of show you an example of what I'm looking for, what the book is looking for here. And then if you guys want to go on and do the rest on your own, you can absolutely do that. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure you had a good idea. And again, this is very similar to what the discussion post is going to look like. So basically what this is, also wir haben hier beim Pendeln komme ich endlich zum Lesen. So wir haben hier Interviews, wie gesagt, wir haben hier 1, 2, 3, 4 Interviews. So 4 Studenten und 4 Interviews. Und ich werde nur das erste Interview lesen, also mit Dominik, ja. Und dann haben wir diese Tabelle hier, ja. So wir haben erstmal, ja, der Name, so Dominik, ja. Wohnt, studiert, wo und wie kommt er oder sie zur Uni. So, before we go ahead and read the actual interview, it probably makes sense to make sure we understand the questions that they're asking, right? So, the first one, wohnt in. So, wohnen, we should all know that word by now, right? Wohnen heißt to live, right? To live. Wohnen, to live. In, it's the same in English, lives in. So here we're looking for like the name of a city or a town or something like that, yeah? And then we have that second section, it looks almost identical, right? It's just wohnt, yeah? Wohnt. And in this case, we're kind of looking for how they live, yeah? So Katharin, yeah, we have all the answers here already. So sie wohnt in Bayerbrunn, ja, das ist eine Stadt oder ein Dorf, ja, in Deutschland. Und sie wohnt bei den Eltern. And here we have some prepositions. We actually have a lot of dative here that we haven't seen yet that we're not going to really get into until Kapitel 5, yeah? But this is a dative preposition, and it basically means with, yeah? So with the parents, yeah? She lives with her parents. Und ja, das werden wir so weiter besprechen, ja? Aber wohnt, das ist so wie wohnt Dominik, ja? So we want to know wo wohnt Dominik, ja? Wie wohnt Dominik? Was studiert Dominik? Ja, so sein Hauptfach, was er studiert. Er ist Student. Was studiert er? So, Katharin studiert Chemie, ja, Chemistry, ja. Was studiert Dominik? Das wollen wir wissen. Und wo? Ja, wo heißt where, right? An der LMU, ja. So that's like on the university, right? In this case, so Germans use on where we use at, right? Again, I don't know. Prepositions are kind of idiosyncratic, right? We don't really know why do we say at the university? I'm not sure. Why don't we say on the university? I don't know. But Germans say on the university, right? So wo an der LMU, so we have to look for where he's studying. And then lastly, wie kommt er oder sie zur Uni? Yeah. How comes he or she to the university, right? To the university. So that's the first thing we'll do. So again, keep these questions in mind. I've got them right here. I'll bold them so we know that's what we're looking for. And then we can go ahead and just kind of read through Dominik's profile and see if we can find the answers here. So, Dominik Bader ist 22 Jahre alt, ja. So, ich studiere Physikalische Technik an der FH und wohne in Seefeld bei Hersching, ja. So, das ist unser erster Satz, ja. Also, ich studiere Physikalische Technik an der FH und wohne in Seefeld bei Hersching. So, we have the answer to two questions here already. So, the first one should be pretty obvious, right? Ich studiere Physikalische Technik, yeah? So, physical technique or like engineering, yeah? So, studiert, yeah? Ich studiere, yeah? Studiert Physikalische Physikalische Technik. Ja. Er studiert und an der FH und wohne in Seefeld bei Hersching. Actually, I think we have 3 answers here. Und wohne in Seefeld bei Hersching. So, remember I said it's on the university, right? On the university. So, in this case, right, we want to know where he studies, where he's studying. So, wo, and then we can just say an der FH, yeah? An der FH. So I'm not sure what FH stands for. So it could be Fachhochschule, yeah. It could be like maybe something in Hersching, so Fachhochschule bei Hersching, right? But yes, yeah, that's probably Hochschule is what we're looking for here. Und wohne in Seefeld bei Hersching. So there it is, right? We've already got most of our answers. Wohne in Seefeld bei Hersching, yeah. Okay, so but we still want to know how he lives, and we still need to know how he gets to the university, right? So, in meinem Elternhaus habe ich fast eine eigene Wohnung, ja? Da sehe ich keinen Grund auszuziehen, ja? Okay, so we have here auszuziehen, yeah? That is a trennbares Verb, right? Auszuziehen. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, but we have first here, in meinem Elternhaus habe ich fast eine eigene Wohnung. Da sehe ich keinen Grund auszuziehen. Yeah? So he's saying, in meinem Elternhaus, what do we think that is? So Eltern, we've seen this word before. Eltern, yeah? And Haus, we've seen that before, right? In meinem Elternhaus. Eltern, parents, and house, right? So he also lives in his parents' house, right? So in meinem Elternhaus. So that's our answer already right there. We could just say wohnt in, but we're talking about him, right? We're talking about him. So would we say mein, dein, ihr, sein, right? Sein, his, right? In seinem Elternhaus, and the seinem, the am at the end here, we're not going to worry too much about that. That's dative. But the important thing is that you know that it's sein, right? Wohnt in seinem Elternhaus, right? Habe ich fast eine eigene Wohnung. So we've seen fast. We know habe ich, right? Have I. Fast, you've seen me use this a couple times recently. Fast means almost, right? Have I almost eine eigene Wohnung. So eine Wohnung, we know that. Eine Wohnung, that's like an apartment, right? Eigene is like own, right? Like a separate thing, right? So he's saying, in my parents' house have I almost an own apartment, right? So he's saying like he has like almost has his own apartment in his parents' house. Yeah, da sehe ich keinen Grund auszuziehen. Yeah, so auszuziehen, that means to move out, right? That means to move out. And this is a construction that we haven't seen yet, that I don't want to get into too much detail with here, but we will see this later. But ausziehen is the verb here. Ausziehen. So out, push. Yeah, ziehen is to well, actually, ziehen is to kind of pull, right? So out, pull, like, but in this case, it's to like move, right? So out, move. So he doesn't see a reason to move out, right? Wenn ich in die Stadt ziehen würde, müsste ich neben dem Studium arbeiten. So, okay, really quick. This paragraph and these interviews have a lot of constructions and a lot of words that we haven't learned yet, that we won't learn even in chapter 5. This whole semester we're not going to learn. We're not going to learn this wenn construction, right? And we're not going to learn like the conjunctive here, which is like, I don't want to get into it, right? So, but we can use the context clues, right, to kind of figure out what this means, right? So, wenn ich in die Stadt ziehen würde, müsste ich neben dem Studium arbeiten, right? So, in die Stadt, that's a word we've seen before, right? That means city, right? And here we have ziehen, right? And that's to move, right? We just learned like ausziehen is to move out, ziehen is to move. So, we can maybe assume that this sentence means something about moving into the city, right? Moving into the city. And, I mean, I'll just tell you, so wenn is if, right? So it's like a hypothetical. So if I, in the city, would, I would have to, right? So like this müsste, right? We've seen müssen before, but this isn't like this is like hypothetically. I would have to neben, and this is something we saw in the last video, neben, right, like next to the studying work, right? So if you moved into the city, you'd have to work, right? Ich will bald nach Südafrika reisen, ja? Ich will bald nach Südafrika reisen. So this sentence we should be able to decipher, right? So ich will, ja, ich will, ich, right? Ich will, that's a modal verb that we've seen before, right? And that means to want to, right? I want to bald nach Südafrika reisen. So bald, I don't know if you guys remember this, but bald is like soon. But even if we didn't know that, right? Soon. Nach Südafrika reisen, yeah? Nach, to, yeah, towards. And reisen wissen wir auch, yeah? And Südafrika, das ist ein Kognat, yeah? So we can decipher this, we can see, oh, I want to soon, towards South Africa, travel, right? Again, we have a modal verb, we've got two verbs, and that means our second verb is going to be at the end and unconjugated, right? In the infinitive form, right? Okay. So he'll say, now he's going to talk a little bit about his commute, right? Because we see am pendeln, yeah? So this will answer that last question that we want to know, which is, wie kommt oder sie zur Uni, ja? Am Pendeln stört mich vor allem, dass ich immer so früh aufstehen muss, ja? Mich freut es aber, wenn ich in der S-Bahn Leute treffe, die ich schon lange nicht mehr gesehen habe, right? Okay, so again, lots of constructions, lots of new words that we haven't seen, that we're not going to see, that we're not even going to learn, but we can use the context here, right? So, am Pendeln, pendeln, like to commute, right? Stört mich vor allem, dass ich immer so früh aufstehen muss, ja? Dass ich immer so früh aufstehen muss. So, immer, we know that, right? We know ich, immer, das ist jeden Tag, immer, ja? Jederzeit, ja? Always. So früh, das ist, früh is early, right? So we learned spät und früh. So früh is early. Und dann haben wir aufstehen muss, ja? Aufstehen muss. So aufstehen, we know that. That's to stand up. And then muss, that's our modal verb, must, right? So now you're probably looking at it and you're like, oh my gosh, what is happening? This makes zero sense. Why is the modal verb at the end? And I am not going to tell you, because that is this is a sentence structure that we haven't seen yet, that we haven't learned yet. And what's important is that we understand the words and we can kind of draw the meaning out from that, right? So, am Pendeln stört mich vor allem, dass ich immer so früh aufstehen muss, right? So we see here, we know always so early, stand up must, right? Always so early, stand up must. So we're like, oh, he has to always stand up or get up out of bed early, right? So it's probably not a good thing. He probably doesn't like that, right? Mich freut es aber, wenn ich in der S-Bahn Leute treffe, die ich schon lange nicht mehr gesehen habe. Okay, so this is, I probably picked the hardest one. So this is where we see, wie zur Uni kommt, yeah? So, mich freut es aber, wenn ich in der S-Bahn Leute treffe, die ich schon lange nicht mehr gesehen habe. So this is some new vocab here, right? This is, Bahn is something that I don't think we've seen yet, right? So Bahn is train, right? Or you can say Zug, yeah, das ist auch Train, yeah. Bahn oder Zug, ja. Und S-Bahn, das ist wie zur Uni kommt, ja. So die S-Bahn, ja, die S-Bahn. Und S-Bahn stands for, the S for in S-Bahn stands for Stadtschnellbahn, which means, how did I spell that wrong? Stadtschnellbahn means, I spell it whatever. City fast train, right? So, and it's basically just the tube is what we would call it, right? Or either the subway, right, or the which they call like the U-Bahn. So the U-Bahn is like the one that's underground. The S-Bahn is just kind of the Stadtschnellbahn. That's the one that gets you around quickly from place to place. So this is very, very, very common way for people to commute oder pendeln, yeah. It's like in Germany, public transportation is much more common than it is here, right? It's a little less common. Like here in Lincoln, if you had a city the size of Lincoln in Germany, there would be a lot of, like, there would be many S-Bahnen, yeah. You would probably take the S-Bahn everywhere. No one would drive, like, if you were in the city. There'd be no reason to, because you'd take the train, right? And you wouldn't have to worry about like traffic or anything like that. It'd be really nice, actually. And then yeah, you could go down to O Street and have a drink and then not worry about it, right? So you have, but they do have Uber and stuff like that in Germany as well. It's just not as common. But it's, yeah, because they have public transportation that's really easy for you to use. So yeah, that's when you want to talk about student life in Germany, the S-Bahn is an important thing, right? And not just that. I mean, it's an important part of life overall in Germany. So that is how wie zur Uni kommt, yeah? So, and what we can do is we're going to go down and we're going to look at the next section, right? So, ist das ein Vorteil des Pendelns oder ein Nachteil? So, two important words to know in German, Vorteil und Nachteil. Those mean advantage or disadvantage. Yeah, advantage or disadvantage. So we want to know if these following things, ob sie ein Vorteil oder ein Nachteil sind. Yeah, are the advantages or disadvantages of commuting, right? Commuting. Now, obviously, I mean, most of you probably live in Lincoln, and now commuting is not a problem at all for you. But maybe you missed that. But yeah, so there's in Lincoln, there's only a few ways, right? There's Auto, Fahrrad, Bus, right? We don't have like a reliable public transportation system, really. The buses take forever, so if you take the bus, I'm really sorry. But yeah, so this is something that you would definitely consider in Germany, if not just straight up do from the start. So, Vorteil oder Nachteil Nummer 1, man verbringt viel Zeit damit, right? So, real quick, this verbringen is a verb with a prefix, but it's not a separable prefix verb. So this, you'll see some things like this, right? You'll see verbs that have prefixes that we won't separate, yeah? So instead of man bringt viel Zeit damit right? We just have man verbringt viel Zeit damit. So bringen, right? This is our verb to bring, right? Und verbringen changes the meaning into to spend, right? To spend. Verbringen, to spend. And not like money. You don't verbringen Geld. It's usually to spend. It's just to spend time, right? So man verbringt viel Zeit damit. Man spends a lot of time with it, right? Ist das ein Vorteil oder Nachteil? Wahrscheinlich Nachteil, yeah? We don't like things to take a long time usually, right? We want it to be fast. So ich würde sagen, dass das ein Nachteil ist, yeah? But there are advantages, let's see. So man muss früh aufstehen. Man muss früh aufstehen. Again, we've got our modal verb here and our schönbares verb here at the end. Man must early stand up, get up. Ist das ein Vorteil oder ein Nachteil? Für mich ist das nochmal ein Nachteil, yeah? Again, this is probably up for debate, but whatever. For me, that's another disadvantage. You have to wake up early, yeah? That sucks. Aber man kann im Grünen wohnen, ja? Im Grünen wohnen. So, im Grünen, this is something we've seen before when we talked about how Germans lived. So if Germans live, wenn sie im Grünen wohnen, wo wohnen sie? Auf dem Land, yeah? Auf dem Land, yeah? In the country. So, man kann im Grünen wohnen. So, man can, in the country, in the suburbs, outside of the city, live. I would say that is a Vorteil, right? You don't have to live in the middle of the city where it's really expensive. You can have your own place. You can have lots of room, right? So, man kann im Grünen wohnen, ja? Das ist ein Vorteil, würde ich sagen. Man kann bei den Eltern billig wohnen, yeah? So again, this one's probably way up for debate, but we have man can with the parents cheap live, right? So remember, billig is cheap, right? And I think that's the kicker there, right? So I'm sure lots of, like, probably none of us want to live with our parents, but what's the Vorteil there? Billig, yeah, cheap. So we can save money living with our parents. That's great. So, man kann bei den Eltern billig wohnen. Das ist ein Vorteil, würde ich sagen. Yeah, it's another advantage, right? of commuting. Und man kann in der S-Bahn lesen. So again, the S-Bahn, Stadtschnellbahn, yeah, that is a place where you can, right, man can in the Stadtschnellbahn. And then what do we have here? Lesen, we've seen this verb before. Read, right? So, ich würde sagen, dass das noch ein Vorteil ist. When I was studying in Spain and in Germany, if I had forgotten to do my homework, I knew that I had at least a half an hour that I had to spend in the S-Bahn, right? And I thought, wow, that's great. I'm stuck here anyways. I might as well do my homework. So, not saying that that's something you should do, right? But it is something that helps, right? Okay. So now we're going to look at these next four, and we've got Wunsch, neutral, yeah, Vorteil oder Nachteil. So again, Vorteil, Nachteil, we've seen those, advantage, disadvantage. Neutral, yeah, this is ein Kognat, that's neutral, right? Und Wunsch is a wish, yeah? Ein Wunsch ist ein wish. Yeah, Wunsch, wish. So, we want to know if these following statements, ob es ein Nachteil, Vorteil, neutral oder Wunsch ist, yeah? So we'll go ahead and read them. So these are all quotes from the people that were interviewed. So, Katrin Schwinghammer fährt mit dem Auto zur Universität, ja? Katrin Schwinghammer fährt mit dem Auto zur Universität. So, that just means Katrin Schwinghammer drives with the car to the university, right? Is that an advantage, a disadvantage, neutral, or a wish? It's just a neutral, right? She drives with the car. There's nothing good, bad, or anything else about it, right? Es ist neutral, ja? Neutral. So, dann haben wir Dominik Bader stört am Pendeln das früh Aufstehen, ja? Das früh Aufstehen. So, frühe Aufstehen, yeah? Again, this is something we've seen before, yeah? Early, frühe Aufstehen, yeah? That means like the early wake up, right? And stört, das heißt like to bother, right? Stören is to bother, right? To bother, stören. So stört. So the early waking up bothers him. So ist das ein Vorteil, Nachteil, neutral, Wunsch? It's a Nachteil, yeah? It's a disadvantage. He doesn't like it. Oh man, this is so annoying. But yeah, so we've got here the first two done. Und dann lesen wir Nummer 3. Marianne Rosler vermisst auf dem Land nur das Nachtleben. Ja? Marianne Rosler vermisst auf dem Land nur das Nachtleben. So, vermissen, yeah, that's another verb with ver on the start of it, but that does not mean it's a trennbares verb, right? Vermissen, to miss, right? So, ich vermisse dich, I miss you, right? Ich vermisse dich, I miss you, right? Okay, so, to miss something, sie vermisst auf dem Land nur das Nachtleben, yeah? So, she misses auf dem Land, in the country, nur das Nachtleben, nur, remember, nur is only, right? Das Nachtleben. So, was heißt Leben? Life, right? Und Nacht, night. So, nightlife, right? We use the same term, yeah? Nightlife. So, she misses the nightlife because weil sie auf dem Land lebt, right? She lives in the country now. So, one of the things, like the only thing she misses, right? Nur, the only thing she misses is the nightlife, right? So, but we're talking about something she misses, something that she wishes she had. So I would go ahead and say that das noch ein Nachteil ist, yeah? And the last one, Robert Drazkowski möchte bald nach München ziehen, yeah? Okay, so, and this is where we see a little bit of that conditional of like wishing for something, right? So I just kind of gave the answer away there. But möchten, right? Möchten, was heißt möchten? Would like, right? Would like. So, das ist natürlich dann ein Wunsch. If you would like to do something, that's something you wish to do, right? And we'll get into the construction of that a little bit later. But, yeah. So, that was the reading activity. If you want to go ahead and try out the rest on your own, you can go ahead and do that. What I really wanted to show you guys really quick was just kind of an example of what I'm looking for from the discussion post tomorrow. So, again, it's just asking you how you get to, or how you used to commute to campus, right? How you used to get there. It just needs to be 30 words. So this here is already like, I think this is already like 40 or 50 or something. Yeah, that's 45. So, I mean, it can be a little bit shorter than this, so it does not have to be long. And then you just answer one of your classmates' posts. So, yeah, my post: Ich studiere Deutsch an der Universität Nebraska-Lincoln. Ich muss um 6:30 Uhr aufstehen. Ich fahre manchmal Auto und manchmal Fahrrad hin. Es dauert 15 Minuten. Ich muss weit weg parken. Ich kann normalerweise keine Plätze finden. Ich muss 10 Minuten zu Old Father laufen. So, here we see that I used a few modal verbs, right? Ich muss weit weg parken. Ich kann normalerweise keine Plätze finden. Ich muss 10 Minuten laufen, right? Ich muss um 6:30 Uhr aufstehen, right? So in most of my sentences, I used a modal verb, right? Now, you don't have to necessarily, but I think it actually makes it easier to come up with these sentences. And I came up with, and then here's a post, right? If you read this, here's an answer you could, or like a reply that you could post, right? So, ich finde das schlecht. Ich stehe vor 7 Uhr auf, nicht gern. Ja. Kannst du im Winter Fahrrad fahren, right? So we say, I find that bad. I don't like to get up before 7 o'clock. And can you in the winter Fahrrad fahren? So can you in the winter bike ride, right? So yeah, just some sort of response to them with maybe a question, but it doesn't have to be really long, right? So I just wanted to show you guys that. I mean, I have here a few questions that should help you write it, right? Was studierst du? So responding to these questions will get you 30 words easily. So yeah, that's your homework. I probably am going to set up another Zoom session sometime, either at the end of this week or the start of next week, just because I thought it was really helpful. Let me know what times work for you guys, what times you would prefer. But otherwise, ja, das war alles und ich wünsche euch einen schönen Tag.